Hi everybody, this is Comics Villain, and I just wanted to do a quick video on Yu Yu Hakusho. Mostly talking about Yusuke Urameshi. Really, it's a story that when I was a kid, I loved it. I watched the show a lot. Actually, I still watch it every now and again. You know, probably do like a whole run, like once every other year. Or I guess every 2 years or so, just because there's a lot to take in, you know, and it's different from when you're a kid to when you're an adult, and you know, as you experience more and more life, it's just one of those stories that there's always an extra layer that you didn't know was there prior to having, you know, those experiences. So I guess I would just be talking about Yusuke right now. He's such an interesting character. I think the beginning was probably the craziest. There'll probably be a few spoilers if you guys haven't ever watched the show, which I highly recommend watching it. So the beginning, you know, he's walking along and there's a kid in the street that was going to get hit by a car. You know, I guess the kid was playing on the sidewalk with the soccer ball and accidentally kicked out in the street, and then he went to go get it, and Yusuke saw a car coming full speed is going to hit the kid, because I guess the driver was like laughing or chatting with his girlfriend or wife or whatever, and didn't notice the kid there, and they were going really fast. So Yusuke went in, saved the kid, but in the process of doing that, he got hit by the car and then died. I thought, dude, this is crazy. What show does this where like the main hero dies in the very beginning? And that was the thing. This show is not like other shows. It really wasn't. So kind of to make it a little shorter, what followed was he was able to sort of grow a little bit in the process of getting his life back. Yeah, so he was able to come back to life. There's a lot going on there, but in the process, he his character grew, and the story moved on. He wound up making a deal with what's his name, Koenma, I think. Yeah, Koenma Jr. And he became a spirit detective, someone that would, you know, do work for Koenma on Earth. If anything was going on, you know, Koenma would ask Yusuke to investigate it or whatever. So in any case, rather than making this, you know, like a summary of the story, again, I do want to talk about Yusuke. It was great to see the character grow. You know, he did not stay exactly how he was from the beginning onward. You know, there are certain things that would, you know, always carry over because that's just the basis of, I guess, who he is, his personality, his core beliefs. That it was, you know, like one core thing about the character is it's hard for him to at times converse with others, you know, to properly articulate how he's feeling. You know, there'd be some moments of clarity for him where, you know, he can do so, but for the most part, it was always fighting. That was his way of communicating, and I love that aspect of the story. It rings something true about, you know, people in general sometimes, you know, that maybe we become a little more honest about ourselves when you get into, like, say, like a boxing match, you know, so you sort of talk with your fists, if you will, and that's the thing with the character that I liked. It was just this pure honesty. But that was around the time that I was watching a lot of different anime, Dragon Ball Z and such. Goku, I guess, is like that. You know, I mean, I can't really articulate too well, but when it comes to fighting, that's really where the real Goku would come out. That wasn't always the same with every other character, but you know, those were the ones that a lot of people loved growing up. So those characters. But the one thing that never changed about him as well was, I guess it would be sort of the selflessness that he had initially. It would kind of come and go, and sometimes, it's like he would maybe take the easier way out of things, and then he'd meet someone like Genkai, who later would train him in her ways of fighting, who tried to basically beat it out of him. Don't take the easier path, and she learned that the hard way from someone else whose name was Toguro, who decided to run away from his problems. But that's something else entirely, and that's well worth watching and learning about, seeing the whole story take place. It was pretty cool when you get into the Toguro arc. And then going forward, I liked his interactions with each of the villains. Everything was either trying to teach them something, or he's learning something about himself. Take for example Sensui, which, man, it had a lot of different names. But yeah, Sensui was a very interesting character who was a spirit detective at one point, and then became aware of, I guess, the evils of man and who he was trying to protect, and it sort of just changed who he was. It actually created multiple personalities and so on, and it made him resentful of humans and spirit world, who he was I guess employed by or working for, and the character, he was very unique. Not exactly your classic villain. He was trying to he had a real purpose. He wanted to open up, the real world to demon world, basically have demons overtake everything. That was kind of like one part of it, but the other part behind it was he wanted to be defeated by a super powerful demon knight S-class, sort of as a way of making up for killing so many demons while he was working as a spirit detective. And later, it was interesting that Yusuke was revealed to actually have demon heritage, and some of his latent demon energy actually came out, making him much more powerful after he, spoiler, died the second time. I think that's right. I think he only died twice. Yeah. So he dies the second time, comes back, his demon energy awakens, everyone finds out that he's a demon, and so on. And then he finally fights Sensui in Sensui's like ultimate perfected form, where he's like wearing different armors and stuff. I forgot what it was called. I think it was like called the Divine Armor or Spirit Armor, something like that. It was like golden. He had like a defense mode, or maybe like a balanced mode, and then he had a mostly offensive mode that he used to fight Yusuke with. Initially, I think they were pretty even. And then, all of a sudden, Yusuke would not awaken, but he started hearing voices. It was actually from his ancestor, who apparently is still alive. His name is Ryzen. He's one of the kings, one of the 3 kings? Yeah, I think so. 3 kings of Demon World. By the way, at this point, it's Yusuke, Kurama, Hiei, Kuwabara, and Sensui that are all in Demon World. Again, I'm kind of jumping around a little bit, but I think it was really interesting when he actually found out this sort of thing about himself when he was a demon. And he starts hearing the voices, and then the ancestor says to him, "You don't know how to use your power, so let me show you." So he actually takes over Yusuke. Very classic, demon anime fashion, like Naruto or like Bleach. Did Goku ever? Yeah, even Goku had something like that, where he changed into the Great Ape. It's like something always taking over the hero. So he took over and then basically killed off Sensui. But then it was revealed that Sensui was actually dying the entire time, so he was attempting to beat the clock. I don't know what he said he had, if it was cancer, if it was something else, or a disease, whatever. But he was running the clock, basically, trying to meet his end goal, to tear down the barrier between the worlds. And so Yusuke was used here as he was used back in the Tournament of Power, or what is it? That's Dragon Ball Z. I forgot what the tournament was called, though. The Toguro arc. He was kind of, in one sense, used to help with that villain's goals. Toguro wanted to be defeated by, I guess it was someone of Genkai's training, someone her student or whatever, to kind of give him the piece that he needed. After doing so many horrendous things, he wanted someone that could beat him at his peak power, for a number of reasons. And Sensui wanted a demon to do it, so they both kind of got what they wanted. And later on in the three demon kings arc, to some extent, it's been a while since I've said that king's name, but the third king, I think, was Yomi, and he kind of wanted something similar, but he didn't realize that's what he wanted initially, because he just wanted to take over. But eventually it was the tournament that got him motivated and got him seeing things differently. That was really cool, actually. That the main characters, a lot of these shows, Dragon Ball Z, Yu Yu Hakusho, I guess Fully Cooled to a certain extent, and what else? One Piece, Bleach, Naruto, they all have something in common. It's the main character that, as they grow and they experience things and they see the world react to it, gather friends, they slowly but surely start changing everything and everyone. I mean, it happens in other stories too, from like the States, with characters like Spider-Man, or shows like Spider-Man, X-Men, all of them, stories, not just shows, but the stories from the comics. The main characters, they change the hearts and minds of people, and I think that's really cool. That's something that people like, being like a sort of the example of what you want the rest of the world to be. Sometimes you don't really have that desire or goal in mind. You just are acting as you are. You are who you are, and as a result of that and the beliefs that you have, that drive you to act the way you do, you have an effect on the people around you. That is, usually a good one, or hopefully a good one. So, Yu Yu Hakusho, I think towards the very end, there is a few things that were missing, I think, from the manga, but overall, the show, the anime, it was excellent. I love the story, I love the artwork, the animation style. I still, to this day, do not see another anime that's similar to this, or it comes close to it. There's some bias there, because I don't watch too much anime anymore, except for maybe the big name ones. But way back then, when I was watching, up into my teenage years, and I think my early 20s, when I was still really watching a lot, it had to be over like 100 some animes. No kidding. But I think a lot of people would say that too. There's quite a few shows that were interesting. I have yet to see anything that came close to the storytelling styling of Yu Yu Hakusho, and I love that. I loved every bit of that. So, in any case, I don't think I've said it yet, but I am creating a story right now, and this is a story that's actually influencing it heavily. There's a lot of others too, Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, a lot of the others, One Piece, but Yu Yu Hakusho, easily, the styling's there, the storytelling, the mature concepts and stories, found within it are the kind I'm hoping to kind of include also, not the same exact, but just going past the usual storytelling of here's your bad guy, here's your good guy wins, the end. I want there to be something deeper. So I am trying to incorporate those ideas and ideals in my story. So I hope you guys get to see that one day. I'd like for it to be a comic book. At the moment, I have quite a bit of the story down. I'll probably do a video, maybe a little bit about it. And for those that are watching and would like to comment on this, if you have any questions in regards to the story or over the video that you just watched, please feel free to comment down below. Like the video, that would be awesome if you would. Subscribe if you'd like to see more videos. I'll try to release more weekly. And yeah, you guys take care. Bye.